Hey everybody, it's Tim, the Carnivore Caveman. And this isn't going to be as out there as my last video about type 1 and type 2 diabetes, but this is more fact based. This is about our federal government standards. The 2020 to 2025 dietary guidelines are available online. You can look them up just like that, the 2020-2025 dietary guidelines. And to me, just getting started on it, it's like 164 pages. You can download a PDF. It's tantamount to an admission that if you follow the dietary guidelines that they've been recommending since 1980, you will have the country of sick people that we have today. Um, it's really very grim. I don't want to read this whole thing, but it says the foods and beverages that people consume have a profound impact on their health. The scientific connection between food and health has been well documented for many decades, with substantial evidence showing that healthy dietary patterns can help people achieve and maintain good health and reduce the risk of chronic disease. When did that happen? Throughout all stages of life. Yet, federal data shows that from the first edition of the dietary guidelines for Americans in 1980, I was 16. Mom changed everything in the house because of that, from butter to margarines, a spray, I can't believe it's not butter, to vegetable oils, all that stuff, low fat. So, since the guidelines came out in 1980 through today, Americans have fallen far short of meeting its recommendations, and diet-related chronic disease rates have risen to pervasive levels and continue to be a major public health concern. So what they're saying is no one is following their recommendations and they're getting sick anyway. So let's just go over on another page here. Let's see. Nutrient-dense food provide vitamins, minerals, other health-promoting components, and have no or little added sugar, saturated fat, and sodium. A healthy dietary pattern consists of nutrient-dense forms of food and beverages across all food groups, in recommended amounts and within calorie limits. So what are they recommending? Vegetables of all types, dark green, red, and orange. So they're recommending food by color. Who doesn't do that? Beans, peas, and lentils, starchy, and other vegetables. Do you avoid those, or have you been eating those your whole life? Fruits, especially whole fruit. No, is everybody avoiding the fruit? Seems to be a pretty big section at the grocery store. Grains, at least half of which are whole. Who's been avoiding their whole grains? Dairy, including fat-free or low-fat milk. Like I said, my mom switched in 1980 because of these recommendations. I'm beginning to feel like these recommendations are the cause of our health problems. Hold on. Yogurt and cheese, lactose-free versions, and fortified soy beverages and yogurt alternatives. Protein foods, including lean meats. Who is not doing this? Poultry, eggs, seafood, beans, peas, lentils, and nuts, seeds, and soy products. Those are all recommended. Oils, including vegetable oils. Boy, I gotta tell you, if you're not getting enough vegetable oil, you better go out there and get you some. And oils in food, such as seafood and nuts. That's seafood oil. Yeah, it's like, there's a bottle of that somewhere. Maybe a little pill, you can get some. And what's nut oil? Peanut butter? I don't think anybody is avoiding the recommended food groups. These are the foods that have been killing Americans. And if you stick to their dietary guidelines, all you are doing is feeding the medical community. They are working in cahoots together to prop up a fake medical system. The best thing you can do is avoid all these foods, go to a carnivore diet, a fatty meat diet, beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. Your health problems will disappear so fast your head will spin. Anyone that follows this has a doctor appointment, has a prescription to pick up, and they're sick. That's all there is to it. Heart disease is the #1 killer in the United States today. About 2,000 people a day die from heart disease, and not one of them die from meat. Meat makes your coronary artery calcium score go to 0. It eliminates heart disease. This is a fraudulent system designed to make you sick. Like Dr. Chafee says, plants are trying to kill you. Why don't they know it? Or maybe they do. This is, in my opinion, this is Munchausen's by proxy. That is a disease where someone makes someone else ill intentionally and on purpose, and then rescues them with some form of assistance, either getting them to a hospital or removing the poison that they're giving them. This is a well-known mental health condition. And I think our whole dietary and medical system is based on it. They're making us sick intentionally and on purpose, and then getting us well just enough to keep permanent appointments and medications. Let's buck the system. Let's tell these people we know what's going on and we're not going to take it anymore. Regain your health. Look up Dr. Baker. Look up Dr. Berry. Look up Dr. Chafee, Dr. Berg. These people are really helping us turn disease around. Now, I'm sick and tired of it. It's all politically based too, and I'll save that for another time. But if you're going to go out to holidays this week and visit with family, and you want to try and help them learn about this, before they shut you down and tell you to shut up and get away from them, one of the things you can do to establish that they don't know what they're talking about, just ask them simple questions about food. Ask them what's in a bag of flour. I have found that nobody knows what flour is. Ask them if they know what vegetable oil is. Don't call it seed oils. Call it vegetable oils and ask them if they know what it is. They don't know what it is. And if you want, even before that, see if you can get them on their side that the medical community is sick care. If you can get them to admit that it is sick care and that they really don't know what they're doing, every time they battle you, they will refer to the medical community to say, no, but I've always heard. Well, I tell you what, you just told me you agreed that they're a fraud, and now you refer to them every time you want to back up your side. You refer to this corrupt medical community every time you want to back up something you say. Not going to fly. Not going to fly. People are eating food. They don't know what it is. You got to be careful, though. You're going to upset your family members once they realize they don't know what they're talking about. Remember, we got to use some grace here. We all had to be updated too and learn this stuff. It's just hard when we're factually based and everything they know is just emotional based, okay? And as far as the alcohol content part of this goes, there's a new label. It's not the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms that does the labeling for alcohol anymore. It's called the TTB. And here, I just want to read you something from their fact-based website. Well, the TTB does not object to the use of truthful and accurate factual statements about calorie and carbohydrate content in labeling and advertising of alcohol beverages. We are concerned about recent labeling advertising representations that imply consumption of low carbohydrate wines and spirits may play a healthy role. And it goes on to say all kinds of things about alcohol, that it's that there's really no truth in advertising. You have to be very careful about what it says. I'm sure through lobbying efforts in the alcohol industry, they disguise the amount of carbohydrates and alcohol, uh, sugars and carbohydrates within it. You know, alcohol has no nutrients and it has carbohydrates and sugars. So, and then the alcohol itself is a toxic poison. It's the only way you would drink it is if you put sugar in it. It's you know, it's hard to get people to stop drinking, especially if they do moderate. Not everybody drank like I did, that's for sure. I don't see it being part of a healthy diet at all. Some of these guidelines that I'm reading about from the government include alcohol as part of a healthy diet. It includes sugar for diabetics, no matter if you're diabetic or not. Up to, 6 tablespoons of sugar is fine for a diabetic. I mean, that's insanity, people. Remember, there are no illnesses, there are no diseases. Everything that we think of as an illness or disease is delivered to us through the food supply chain. This is the Munchausen's by proxy. They make us sick intentionally, and then we have to go to somebody with a degree on the wall. These people are out of their minds. I just don't understand it. Then we got to go to them for some pill so we can keep doing what we're doing. That's the definition of insanity. If you're taking a medication to offset the effects of a food that you're eating so that you can continue to consume the food that you're taking the medication for, you're out of your fucking mind. You have a great Christmas. I love you.